everybody. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. And if you can, we'll get started. Adam's having some issues in the garage. He's having some problems with his connection. So we are going ahead and just starting. And hopefully he'll be able to figure out what's going on. So, okay. Right now I just see him frozen, and that's all. All right, everybody. Okay, good. You can hear me. Good. All right. Well, tonight is a fundraiser for the Maui Humane Society. And so it's set up, and if you want to give to that, you can. I put a link also in the description below, and also in the comment section on my main page, saying that Maui Strong is another great organization. Somebody, Tony, let me know that was a really good organization to give to as well, if you want to give to the people in Hawaii, so or in Maui. So there are a couple. But I know that the Humane Society, they really need help right now, because they have a ton of displaced animals, injured animals, missing animals, found animals. So they just sounded like they needed a lot of help. So, all right, guys. And thank you, Flora. Thank you for anyone else who's helping with the moderating tonight. I really appreciate it. Adam kind of went off for just a second, so I'm going to try to begin without him here. So I'm going to look and see if there is a quick question I can put up. And I usually do name checking at the end. And also, we have a person had to drop out of our retreat. So if you're interested in going to the retreat, it's me, it's Debbie from Freebird Spirit, Andrea from Lilac Lantern, Kevin the Healing Medium, and Linda from Linda Comanche Psychic, Linda G. We're going to do lots of fun stuff. We have a bunch of bigger activities planned. Like every night there's going to be an event, and then there's classes during the day, yoga if you want to, healing sessions if you want to, but a lot of fun stuff. So, and Cassie will be there. It should be a really good time. But if you feel like that spot belongs to you and you need it, then just email me and I will send you over to my sister Julie, and she will sign you up. Okay? All right. So let's get into it. Let's see. Let me see if there's a quick question. Okay, here's a good one. Let's just go with this one. Kim, I'd like to ask, why is Canada getting suddenly hit with all of the MAGA people? So right away, I'm seeing dollar signs. So I feel like it's being funded or pushed, I feel like. I feel like oligarch too. So I don't know if you have oligarchs in Canada or hanging out in Canada, or have any connections with Canada, but I'm hearing oligarch. That was my dowsing rods. I just did my dowsing rods just in case we need those. And I'm hearing open the door. So I feel like they're trying to they're opening the door for this movement to enter for what feels like money, or they're being funded to do this. It's being funded by somebody. And I'm here, and like I said, I heard oligarchs. So it's being funded by oligarchs or on behalf of oligarchs. This is entertainment purposes only. I don't want to be on a hit list. And I feel like the agenda is to kind of cause some chaos in the system, like chaos in the electoral system, to kind of have some, to cause some chaos or upheaval, or it feels like drama, to kind of kick that kind of stuff up. Yeah, lilac lantern. Yeah, so that's what it feels like to me. So I hope that makes sense. But those are the things I'm getting. So I don't, people who live in Canada might know, like, oh, I know who's doing this, or I know who's funding it. But it feels like it has to do with oligarchs wanting to kind of kick up some dust and make some chaos in their, kind of like they did here in 2016. It's kind of the same kind of thing. Kick up some dust and make people kind of like uneasy, basically. So yeah. All right. So let me take this question down, and I'll let Adam put his question up. All right. Will the grand jury in the Fani Willis case be okay after Trump supporters dox them? Okay. Okay, so I feel like we're going to hear stories. So I feel like I'm actually feeling like some of them that for a period of time, they might actually be getting some kind of protection for a period of time, it feels like. So I feel like they will get, some of them will get the same kind of thing we've seen, threats, things like that. But I feel like they will be taken care of, like safe. But I do feel like they will kind of the same thing we've seen with, with other people that MAGA people kind of go after a lot of, threats, just derogatory, calls and just harassment, basically. But I feel like I don't feel like they'll have to move, and I don't even feel like it goes on very long. I feel like it's kind of, it's not very long, but I feel like they'll be protected through that time. So I hope that puts some people's mind at ease. And yeah, so crazy. They have to do that. Is Fani Willis confident of her case against Trump and his 18 conspirators? Yeah, let me look at her and look at her team as well. So I'm seeing her in front of like a bunch of TV screens, like a security officer sometimes sit there and watch a bunch of TV screens. So I feel like that's telling us that she has she knows what went on behind the scenes. I feel like she's got the whole picture. So I feel like she's very much, well, in that position, right? You're in the position of a watcher, protector. So I feel like I almost feel like it's still ongoing. Like she's going to be adding things to the case as they go forward. I feel like maybe she's not done. But as far as what she has, I feel like, yeah, she feels like she completely knows everything that's gone on. But it kind of makes me feel like she's still watching and she's still learning, and she will add as she goes, as more things come to light. I feel like she was, she felt pressure to make sure this got going in a timely way. But I feel like she's under the impression that there's going to be more. There's going to be more stuff. So, yeah. So that's what I got. So I feel she feels very confident and like it's just going to get bigger. But I feel like she feels like she knows what went on and what happened, and she's confident in what she has put out there. Is Trump going to be the GOP nominee or not? What say your guys? Well, okay. So let me just remind you that for a couple of years now, I have seen him not being the nominee, not DeSantis either. And I didn't know what would happen. We could guess, that, we definitely saw all of these indictments coming, but it wasn't sure when, the timing was we weren't sure of, but we knew that these things were coming. However, we didn't necessarily know for sure it would, stop him in any way, because that's just how he is. So I'm just reminding you of the history of this. So let me look. I'm going to look at this and just see what is coming in now. I am not seeing it, and I'm saying, I'm actually feeling like he may say it's something to do with health, which, I mean, it could be, but it kind of makes me feel like that's the excuse they come up with, or that's the reason they give. But I almost feel like there is no way he can win. He knows there's no way he can win, so he needs an out. And it's and we know he doesn't want to spend more time with his family. And that cat is out of the bag. So I feel like he may step down because of health reasons, or say it's because of health reasons, or something like that. But I don't see it. I'm not seeing him as the nominee. And I feel like I'm alone, very alone as a reader, that I've seen this for so long. It feels like forever. I've not seen him or DeSantis. It feels like someone, we've always said like kind of like a Pence energy, although we can't see that it's Pence because he just seems so far behind, or kind of like a more Christian-y kind of guy, not much personality. That's just kind of almost a Romney, that kind of feeling. That kind of energy. So I don't know. I would say that if it were Trump, I feel like that would be the end of the MAGA movement, because I think he would just lose so badly that it would just be the end. So that would be a good thing. But I also think he's so he does so much damage every time he opens his mouth. So I would just not want to put us through that, but I'm not seeing it. I have to just say what I see. So even though I'm alone in this, but that's, I know the death of MAGA would be great. And that's what I think too. I think, that would be great just to be done with it and over with it. So if it is him, it's him. And that's what we need as a nation to shake us up. But I feel like, I'm not getting that it's him, and I never really have. So we shall see. Even though every arrow points to him, and I just am not seeing it. So that's what I got. Here, I'm going to turn on the fan. It's warm in here today. So I'm going to turn on my fan. Hopefully it won't bug you guys. I'll do the whisper one. All right. Will we see a gag order served on Trump? Maybe a ball gag order. Okay, let's see. Will there be a gag order? So I feel like it's interesting. It almost comes across like a partial gag order or part of a gag order. I feel like it's like there are instructions and tight restrictions, but it leaves the door open. And it's probably because he is running for office, so they have to. But I feel like, I think I've told you guys that I felt like the fall and winter are going to be really chaotic. And so make sure that you take a couple minutes every day just to find your center, get quiet for a minute, remind yourself, there's an eternal part of yourself that's plugged into to higher order, and give yourself that break every day to just kind of remember that and link into that, because it's going to be chaotic. So I feel like not only is it going to be Trump and all his nonsense that kind of ramps up, but I also feel like we're going to move into the fall and winter for weather. We're going to move into the fall and winter for COVID and for flu. And I just feel like it's going to be a lot. And so become very self kind of focused, not in a selfish way, but in a self-preserving way. What do I need? What do I need to make me feel calm and peaceful? What are my responsibilities when it comes to the election and things like that? I'm going to vote. I'm going to give money to this cause. I'm going to do what you can, but try not to overload yourself on this stuff. And, check in every day, but don't feel like you have to be mired in it all the time, because it seriously is going to be, I keep getting that message. So I just wanted to put that out, that it is going to be a very chaotic fall and winter. But I feel like in the spring, something is different. It does feel like the clouds part. So hang on till spring. Hang on till spring. We'll all hang on to spring. So I'm getting like a partial gag order for that question. Partial. It doesn't feel like a complete gag order. There's something that feels like, but it does feel restrictive. So I feel that he will feel very restricted by it. So that's what I'm getting. When the grand jury signed off on the indictments, what was the general sentiment among the jurors? And I assume this means Florida. I mean, not Florida, Georgia. Okay. Okay. I just keep hearing guilty, 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 guilty. So I feel like they all felt it was guilty. I'm surprised at how angry I feel. So I feel like they walked away very angry about this. So I feel like whatever story they learned about and whatever they heard from witnesses just made them angrier and angrier and angrier. And I feel like there wasn't anybody who was like a not guilty. I feel like everybody was like, this person, this is guilty, 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 guilty. So, and I don't know what they actually say or how they vote or whatever, but that's what I'm hearing. And so I feel like they really felt like they did these things. And I'm just surprised at the level of anger I feel from them. because I really do feel how dare they? Who do they think they are? That kind of very just indignant anger. So that's what I'm getting from them. That was the sentiment. Anger, and they're guilty. Will Rudy Giuliani flip on Trump? Will it be about money? Rudy not having any and Trump not giving any away? Although I don't know how much Trump actually has either. That's always a wild card. Okay. Yes. Well, Rudy Giuliani is interesting. I don't know if you guys remember, but when I asked who the first Trump circle insider who was going to jail, they said Rudy Giuliani. So that's interesting, right? Because that makes me think if he is the first one going to jail, if we stick with that, he might make some kind of a plea deal that involves jail time. But let me look and see. I'm hearing that Ruby Freeman. I'm hearing that name. So, and I know that's the woman that was. So there's something with her coming that I feel like he might flip actually, and I feel like it may be sooner rather than later. I feel like he might flip. It has something to do with that whole thing where he talked about her and came to Georgia. It has something to do with all of that, but I feel like it's like he's over a barrel. So I'm going to check for sure with the dowsing rods just to make sure, but I'm feeling like he's going to flip sooner rather than later. Turn the fan around real quick. Okay, so I'm going to do yes and no. So yes is that, yes, and no is they're trying to hurry. I can feel it. Okay, so no is that. Okay, so the question is, will Rudy flip on Trump, and will it happen? Okay, so that's interesting. So that's kind of that's a tentative yes. Okay, so I got more of a yes sooner rather than later, and then but the dowsing rods are saying a tentative yes. So, okay, so maybe it's something that's not quite decided yet or not quite in our sights yet, but that's the way it's headed. Okay. And it's got something to do with Ruby Freeman. Was Mark Meadows shocked when he was indicted by Fani Willis? Oh, God. I know, to be a fly on the wall with all of these people, huh? Okay. I feel like his attorneys prepared him. He is really worried about going to jail. He does not want to go to jail. He may end up having this in federal court, though, but I don't think that helps him from being guilty or not guilty. I think it just may go to federal court. It may. He's one I'm feeling like it could actually go to federal court. But I do feel like he's very, very, it really worries him to go to jail. That really does scare him. And he does feel like it's a possibility. Like he doesn't have that same kind of like dumb confidence that some of these people have, that somehow they'll just get out of it because they're connected to Trump, which I'm like, no. Or Trump himself, he always thinks he can get out of stuff. He doesn't feel like that. He feels like like I'm really in this. I'm really like I'm really like stuck in this, that kind of thing. He understands his predicament. Let me just put it that way. Will any of the judge's orders affect Trump's ability to use Truth Social, his terrible social media? Okay. So it's interesting because like I said, I feel like there will be some kind of partial gag order, but I also feel like something is going to happen that makes him realize he really can't say some stuff because it will get him in more trouble. Something's going to happen. He may have a charge added on or something like that, because I feel like he kind of backs off a little bit, knowing like this, like he's drawn himself a line. They've also drawn lines, but I feel like he's drawing himself a line as well. So there's something that's going to happen that shows him like you can't do this because you're just making it worse for yourself. So I'm wondering if he's going to get another charge or get fined or something. But I feel like even though he has the thickest head in the world, I think he is kind of getting it in some way because of something that happens. I can't put my finger on what it is, but it'll be either a fine or he'll get another charge or something like that. But so I feel like they'll draw a line, but he'll draw one also, or his people will say to you, like, you cannot say this or you cannot say that. So. Will Trump or Mark Meadows be able to switch their Georgia indictment to a federal court? Well, we already said Mark Meadows. I believe so. Let me see with Trump. I'm not getting it with Trump. I don't think Trump will be able to do it. I don't think, for that matter, I don't think Rudy will be able to either. But no, I'm not seeing it for Trump. I think he's going to have to stay in Georgia. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Is Trump scared of indictments in his soul, if he has one? If so, which one scares him the most? Okay. These are, at least these questions I feel like are up my alley. I mean, every reader has their like specialty or their thing that they feel like that comes easier to them. And at least all these questions this is like my terrain. So I feel like I feel good about looking at these, even though it's like, what does this person think? What does that person think? So even though it's always yuck to go into Trump's energy. I feel like my guys are kind of like, it's tricky because I feel like yes, it's all fear, but it's being displayed inside and out as anger. But underneath that, it's fear. He's afraid, but it's being displayed and it's being kind of felt as anger. and being mad and feel and just and all of those things. He always thinks, poor me, everyone's out to get me. But it does feel more like anger, and there's also kind of an agitation to him that I'm feeling, or you'd say maybe like an uneasiness all the time. But I would say anger is the dominating force right now, and it feels like inside and out. So what he's feeling inside and also what he's showing outside. But underneath that is fear. And at some point he will feel the fear. But right now it's just kind of coming out as anger, mad, that just rage, anger. Yeah, so that's what I'm getting. Thank you, Flora D. Is there any possibility Trump or his attorneys would ever try to negotiate a plea deal on any or all of the 4 indictments? So I heard that's all his attorneys want. It's like they would love to get plea deals. I feel like in every case they would love to negotiate something, anything. Trump won't do it. He won't do it. Maybe if his back's against the wall at some point he will, but right now I feel like they brought it up, they bring it up, and it just makes him angry. But I feel like all of them would be like, if he would just trust us, if he would just try, if he would just, he's not interested. But I feel like all of them, I heard all of them would do it. They would try. Yeah. Just a comment, Trump canceled his news conference, but he had all the truth. Oh, I was waiting to hear about all the fraud in Florida, or in Florida and Georgia. What the heck? Oh well. Couldn't have been very important then, I guess. Yeah, and I was feeling that it's done now, but I was feeling like his attorneys were trying desperately to stop him. So that's what I'm, but you know how he is. You never know, if he's going to listen or not. But I feel like maybe he did listen. Janice says in the chat, Trump had a sure out. Any idea what this might mean? Did he pardon himself? I don't think you can future pardon. A sure out of all the cases or the case in Georgia?
It sounded like from Janice's comment that he wasn't worried. He had told people or mentioned, how he is, just blabbed in some news thing, I've got an out. And she just wondered what that might be. It might be a pardon or something. It's probably bullshit.
Yeah, I feel like he may think that it's something with this whole free speech thing. I think he thinks that's the end all be all, but it's not. But I feel like it's something like that he just thinks, oh, well, this is what it is. He doesn't have skipping the country, maybe, leaving town. I'm not getting anything real. So either he's making that up or he thinks it's one of the defenses that his team has come up with, because I'm not seeing any kind of escape hatch or I'm not getting anything like that. So he's either just making it up, or he thinks that something his lawyers came up with is just genius. I'm not getting it. I'm not getting anything like that. I mean, my guys are not saying, they're not giving me anything. So either he's just making it up or whatever. Or he's stuck on the First Amendment.
Well, he's going to win. And when he's president, then he can change everything.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that obvious thing. Yeah. He's just going to win.
He wins, and then he can do it. He can go just on another crime.
I mean, that would be, in his defense, that would be an out, I guess. But it's just, he's delusional if he thinks that's going to happen. It's just not. It's just not. He doesn't have the numbers. He doesn't have the support. He just doesn't.
Right.
Teresa reminds us that Louis DeJoy, Postmaster General, is still kicking around. Oh, God, no, don't even get me started. Will he be any help to Trump? Should he be the GOP? Should he be the GOP nominee in 2024? Oh, I just heard a big no. So no, he will not be of any help to him. And I'm hearing lie low. So I think that may have been his strategy in staying in as long as he could, is just kind of lying low and not making any waves. Because I don't feel like he's necessarily the threat he was. I feel like, and I still feel like he'll be gone. It's maybe it will be in 2024, but I feel like he'll be gone. And I just heard he's a game player, so I feel like maybe he knows how to kind of play the game, stay in people's good graces, stay on the and that when Trump was in doing his stuff, he may have been trying to stay in his good graces and trying to play the game. And now that a new administration's in and a new sheriff is in town, it's kind of like he's kind of playing that game. So I feel like that's what I'm getting about him. So he's not like a Steve Bannon to me, where he has all these wacky ideas and he's, he believes them wholeheartedly. He doesn't feel like that. He feels like, he's got kind of a sweet ride right now, and he's just going to do what he has to stay there for a while. That's what it feels like. I do feel like he's corrupt, though. I feel like there's stuff coming there down the pipeline for him. There's entertainment purposes only, but I feel like he's done stuff that I feel like will come back to haunt him in some way. So, yeah, that's what I'm getting with him. He doesn't feel, squeaky clean or anything. But he just feels like he kind of just goes with the flow, just for his own, best, for his own good. Ari Melber has Roger Stone back in the news. He's outlining the fake elector scheme on camera before the election. Is he effed? Okay, so I almost feel like Jack Smith has already talked to him or been talking to his people or talking to his attorneys or something. I feel like they're going to bring him in. They may use him as like a witness or something. So I'm not feeling charges right away or anything like that, but I do feel like they're in talks. They're talking. And I'm seeing Jack Smith. So I feel like he's on top of this, and he's looking into it. He's on top of it. He's looking at. I feel like he's talking to his people, or he's talking to him, and they're going to bring him in. And that's what I've got so far. I don't feel like he's going to be charged right away or anything like that. It just feels like he's on top of it. He's talking to him right now. They're going to bring him in. So he may be some kind of, like an unnamed co-conspirator. He could be an indicted co-conspirator, something like that. And he's so, I can't stand him. I can't stand him. He's just so, these people are just so like, when you see them like talking to their people and stuff, they have such grandiose ideas about themselves. They're just so legends in their own minds. You can just see it. It's just bizarre, but it's so obvious to me that they just think that they are that they are the best, and they are so smart, and they know everything, and they're just the worst. So, but I think it takes that kind of, brashness to do things like this and think you can get away with it, Anyway, they're the worst. ProPublica, yeah. Released the fact that Clarence Thomas accepted 38 vacations, 26 private flights, multiple sports shows, etc., from several donors. Will he be forced to leave the Supreme Court soon? Now, I've always seen him leaving because of his wife, so maybe something will happen with her. But let's see about him. Once again, just this like just so angry, that how dare anyone even look at this stuff? How dare they? How dare all of you want to know what he's doing behind closed doors? Scalia's coming up too. So I wonder if there may be more coming out about him as well. I think he and Scalia both are leaving next year. That's what I'm getting. I've always gotten there would be 3 leaving. I think those are 2 of them. I think Roberts might be the 3rd one. Now it may depend on maybe if Biden wins again, they just leave. But I kind of feel like it might be before that. So that's what I'm getting. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm getting him and Scalia stepping down. Alito, sorry. I said Scalia. Alito, sorry. Alito. I was seeing Alito and saying Scalia. No, he's not a problem anymore. Alito. Funny. And I think, like I said, I think there might be more coming out about Alito. So I think there might be some more coming out about him soon. Florida has surging cases of malaria and dengue fever, as well as bathtub seawater that's bleaching out their barrier reefs. Is it the wokeness attacking Florida or climate change? Wow, okay. So I'm seeing like DeSantis shifting money around. So I feel like there's something in the way that he has shifted money around, that he's taken money away from things and put him into other stupid things. But I feel like the stuff he's taken money away from has something to do with these things. Maybe he took money away from, the medical, whatever, people that stay on top of these kinds of things, like these diseases and things like that. I'm not sure, but there's something about the way he has moved money around that has made these issues really bad, really a problem. So this goes back to him. I'm getting that this is his doing. There's something that he has done that has led to the severity of these problems. And the barrier reefs, that is climate change. That has to do with temperature. They're saying temperatures. So that's what I'm getting. And I kind of feel, if I'm getting that it will probably come out, or maybe it will be talked about as, his, they do like opposition research and stuff. Maybe some of these things will come out, but I feel like this is his fault. The disease things that are happening in Florida right now are his doing. He took money away from places that would have helped these things. So this is him. Yeah. And like I said, I think this may come out. If I'm getting this, I think it may come out in the, as he runs for president. So everyone's just like, jerk, stupid, idiot. And leprosy. Yeah, leprosy. That's, right. Yeah. How bright is AOC's future in American politics? Interesting. How bright is AOC's future in American politics? It's interesting because I actually feel like her presence kind of grows after the election. I feel like there might be some plans that she's actually involved in that have to do with climate change. And I feel like student debt too. I feel like she may have something to do with that as well. So I feel like there's some key legislation that may pass that she has a big hand in 2024, 25, that time period. So, and I feel like she just has a bigger role to play. So that's what I'm getting. Oh, thanks, Jan. I feel like I'm sweating to death up here. So if I could be beautiful, thank you. Maybe I'm glowing. Have you guys seen the Trump mugshot from Georgia? Is it as hilarious? Well, he's the most unphotogenic. I've never seen a person more unphotogenic than him. I cannot believe the faces they get of him, the faces he pulls, and they always get it on camera. I just see him with a straight face, his straight angry face that he always, just his face, his grumpy face that he has. But I do feel like there's going to be one, though. I do feel like there will be a mugshot. It's weird too, because I feel like, before I had talked about cameras being in the courtroom, and I'm thinking now maybe it was Georgia, maybe that I was seeing the because I just saw two cameras on this side and on this side, two cameras just filming everything. And at the time someone said C-SPAN, I'm like, that's exactly the kind of feeling it had. It was like very sparse. It wasn't like all of the stations. It was just like a couple of cameras. But I kind of feel like the jail visits, we might see more stuff. People actually walking in and maybe not getting fingerprinted, but actually seeing like mugshots and stuff like that with this group of all these people going in, that we might just see more of it than we have in the last few. So there's an overall feeling of just more transparency, I guess, about the process and that kind of thing. So we'll see. But I just see his grumpy face. I mean, you can imagine just his mopey face. I'm getting arrested again. Not gonna smile because I'm mad. Sheldon Whitehouse has been doing stellar work. I agree. I've given money to him. I agree. Trying to expose Clarence Thomas grift along with ProPublica. What do you see for Mr. Whitehouse in the future? Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. I mean, right away, I saw him in kind of a position of almost like a consumer protection something. What is there a position? What is that position called, Adam? Do you know? Consumer protection on the federal level? But I saw that. Isn't that what Nader used to be?
No, I don't think so. He was an official. He was like the head of a like non-profit.
Oh, okay. Well, but anyway, I don't know who's held it in the past, but I saw some kind of consumer protection.
DC or something.
Yeah, like in the government though, like a position in the the cabinet or the government. So right. Maybe someone in the chat will know. But anyway, Consumer Protection Agency, yeah. So that's what I got like right away. So maybe that's what they're thinking. Maybe they're thinking now of something like that for him. I can't imagine they'd move him out of the Senate, but if we win enough in the Senate and we can lose him, maybe they would, Yeah, so interesting. But yeah, I got that like right away. He's definitely great at digging, right? 2 more questions. Okay. Yeah, we got kind of a late start. Sorry about that, you guys. What is going on with Britney Spears and her marriage? Okay. This should be interesting. I know nothing about Britney Spears or her marriage. So this should be very interesting, which is sometimes it's almost easier to look into stuff I have known absolutely nothing about. Well, okay, so let me see what's going on. So I feel like there's something with manipulation going on. I feel like there's something about money as well. I feel like I feel like I don't trust him. So I'm not sure if I'm getting an overview or if I'm looking at it from her perspective, but I feel like I don't trust him. He's kind of a manipulator, and there's something about money as well that comes up really strongly. I also feel like he would confuse her or something. There's something about her being confused. Almost like I guess it's manipulation, but it's like I'm like being in confusion or confused. There's a big money component with him. And I feel like he has turned people against her, like some people against her or something. It's like he's kind of good at manipulation or talking people into stuff. And with her, I feel like she's kind of, I mean, I hate to say, I think she's a nice person, but I think she's kind, I mean, I don't want to say it, but I feel like she's kind of a little dumb, like kind of a little bit, I feel like her whole life she's been kind of in over her head a little bit. And I feel like when you have a person like that, they attract certain types of people. And so that's all I'll say about that. But that's kind of the feeling I'm getting. So I don't know if that's right or wrong or whatever, but those are the things I was picking up and I'm feeling. So I don't know.
Well, I'm not an expert, but I've read one article on it. So apparently the news of their divorce was announced on TMZ, and they signed their papers on the 27th of July. They had met. He was a trainer. So the idea of like maybe manipulating or motivating or being able to talk her into things sounds about right for a good trainer. And also that he wouldn't necessarily have come from money. So maybe, who knows? But they're done. So this is our third one. We'll have to wait for
they're done. So well, it feels like it's probably best for her if they're done. That's because it doesn't seem like a good situation. And I hate to say like she's dumb. I shouldn't say that, but I feel like she's not. She's a little bit naive and trusting, and a little bit, and I don't think she has a lot of like educational background. So I feel like she depends on people a lot. That's just, what I feel about her, but I don't think she's a bad person or a mean person or anything like that. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, Sparky understands. She's like, I understand.
Maybe sheltered more than dumb, right? Because
yeah, maybe sheltered.
Never allowed to.
A nice way to put it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So. Okay, fun question. Did Trump learn about UFOs when he was president? Pretty sure he did it. Okay, so let's find out. So I'm getting he did, and he did want to talk about it, but he was advised that he'd sound crazy, that it wouldn't be good for him to do that. I also feel though like he was not. It wasn't something that he was necessarily really intrigued with. I feel like he was more intrigued with like the lifestyles of the rich and famous, the other leaders and how they lived and what they did. I feel like he was more about that kind of stuff. It wasn't really something that grabbed him really, but I feel like at one point he thought about talking about it and they're like, no, that you don't want to do that. You'd look like an idiot. You'd look like you were crazy. You shouldn't do that. Not good for you. And I feel like it didn't capture him the way you'd think it might. And in fact, I feel like that he was more interested in like JFK stuff, that kind of thing, like looking into that kind of stuff, conspiracy stuff, which actually makes sense now that I'm saying it, but it's stuff like that and not really so much that kind of thing. So, yeah, if that makes sense. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much. And thank you so much for giving to the Humane Society for Maui. Again, there's another, if you'd like to give to the people of Maui, there's another link in the description below. Thank you, everybody that donated. Thank you so, so, so much. I am so glad we're doing something to help the little animals, because I always think when there's fires like that, I always think of the animals. And there were so many stories. I remember when we lost Paradise here in California, that whole town that kind of burned to the ground. All of the stories about the animals were coming out, because, I mean, miraculous stories, but also, just heartbreaking stories. And so thank you so much for helping with that. I really appreciate it. And so Michelle, Wendy, Justice, Biscotti, Luigi, Megan, Lynn, Craig, Kat, Sylvia, Kathleen, Myrna, Anne, Sue, Cornelius. Thank you guys so, so much. And I will be name checking you now if you would like to say goodnight. And I will say goodnight to you. And John of New. Hi, John of New. And I had such a fun conversation. So uplifting. I mean, John is so, thank you, Adam, for your help. Thank you so much. Thank you, Adam. John is so optimistic. He has such an optimistic view of things. So if you want to kind of an uplifting conversation, we had it on Sunday. And please join me on Sunday. This Sunday, we're going to talk about tools that you can use in your practice or in your getting answers for yourself. We're going to talk to Andrea. We're going to talk about the pendulum, the dowsing rods. We're going to talk about the astrology. We're going to talk about cards. So we're going to have a few guests on. So hopefully you guys will hang out with me. It's at 1 p.m. on Pacific time, Sundays. And it is live. So you can ask questions if you want to and join in the conversation. Okay. So Barb Martins, thank you so much for hanging out. Celeste, Roxanne M. Thank you, Roxanne. Squadio Data MJ. Thank you so much. Rhonda Rue, Linda Pruitt, Spirit Watcher Suzanne, John of New. Thanks, John. Azalea, H. DeVore, Heather, Mother of Three, Gotcha, Sparky, Shelly S. Gosh, I feel like I'm talking to my family members. I recognize all of you now. Spirit Watcher Suzanne, Janine M, Azalea, Sweet and Salty 1111, Kimmy G, Connie B, thank you. Heather, Nancy Decker, Spirit Made Me Do It. Hi, Marcy. Biscotti Luigi, Connie B again, Carol Gallagher, Lucretia Valdez, Heather, thank you. Francie, Palma Lee Stevens, Donna Sawyer. Yes, I'm praying for all of those people. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And the vultures will be there, in Maui. That's how it always works, right? When something like that happens, the vultures come in. But I really feel like the government may be really giving the people a hand and stuff. So hopefully we won't have too much of the land gone to these, people that want to just mass build and things like that. Hopefully it will be a little different. Christine BR, H. DeVore, Kat M, Mary Fanuff, rolling my third eye. Oh, that's cute. All right. Brenda R, Carol Michael. Thanks again, John. Sweetie Darling Lulu, be still and know. Craig Dixon, swirling on. Oh, I forgot to mention for club members, tomorrow night we're going to have a special. I'll put it up on the community board and you'll get a notice for it. But we're going to have a special mediumship night with Terry. So she's going to help me read, and we're going to do some mini mediumship reading. So that's for the club members. Okay. So I wanted to let you know that, and I'll have it up soon. And that will be tomorrow night. Okay. Paulette Riddle, Jamie Johnson, Shelly S., DNDFL Rocks, Mia G., Anita Copley, Craig Dixon, Don Broadbent, Neon Texas, Jane Weininger, Mimi Rose, Ms. Beachboxer, Patty Olson, Jess R., Jane Finley English, Sweetie Darling Lulu, Janet Neal, Cynthia Pierce, Biscotti Luigi, Gina Halleck. So you guys, yeah, be there tomorrow night. Teresa Taryn, Martha, Lucy Phillips, Noelle Douglas, Frida Stanger, Joe Schmo, Adam, thanks Adam, Anita Pace, Janine M., Butterfly Kisses Healing, Mary Fineff, Constance Campbell, Janice Connett, Minuet Maya, Patricia Simon, Shelley S., MSB, Deanne DFL Rocks, Chris Wickens, thank you so much. Good night, Craig. Lizanne Merrill, thank you, Lizanne. Lizanne. How do I say Lizanne? Lizanne, not Lizanne. Lizanne. Like lasagna. Okay. Ethereal Material, Kelly Baum, Gigi Sellers, Phoenix Rise, Breda Stinger, Shelly S. Did I get everybody? Martha, Craig, I think I got you. Cass Calderon, Ethereal Material, Prince Charming's mom, Joanne Sanchez, KD, Mother Earth, Gotcha. I think I got that one. Gigi by the Sea, Tony Stokes. Thank you, Tony. Thank you for the articles. Thank you, my friend. Barking Dog Blankets. How cute. Yes. Donna O'Brien, Lucretia Valdez, and Sparky. Patty Olson. Yes, hit the like button. And thank you again, everybody, for your donations. It'll be open for a week, so you can donate for a week. If you're seeing this later on and you want you're moved to donate, please do. And I will see you guys all next time. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a good night.